Hey guys, I'm Heather with Weathered Hollow Farms, and I am bringing you another delicious and easy meal today. What I'm going to do today is going to be Cajun chicken pasta or Cajun chicken alfredo. And you can do this without the Cajun part if you want. It's up to you. We've done it both ways. Just make sure you don't use too much of that Cajun seasoning or it's going to be really salty. Not speaking from experience. So what you're going to need, we're going to use some onion powder and some garlic powder. Our Cajun seasonings, we're going to use some Old Bay and some Tony Creoles. You'll need some chicken broth, and then we will need some flour, Parmesan cheese, of course, and then we've got some milk and some heavy cream. You'll want your fettuccine noodles, and of course, chicken. I hate cooking with chicken. I hate dealing with chicken, but this is a really good meal. So, anyways, gonna get my chicken here on this cutting board. Got my really good cutting knife. I'm going to cut this into fillets to kind of thin the chicken out, and then I'm going to cut them in strips, and then I'll cook those, and we will go from there. So let's get our chicken cut up. All right, so I've got my chicken all cut up. I have some oil in my pan, and I've got my heat on about medium heat. I'm going to cook this chicken, putting some of my Creole seasoning and Old Bay seasoning on there as I'm cooking it, and then we're gonna set that to the side once we get done making that. Alright guys, so I got my chicken finished up. I've got it on a plate, and I'm gonna just set it to the side. So delicious. Alright, so now I'm going to get my whisk out. I'm going to cut my water onto my noodles. I forgot to tell you guys, you need a stick of butter, and this is when you need it. We're going to put the stick of butter in this pan, and we're going to let it melt. And then once this stick of butter melts, then we're going to add our heavy cream in there, okay? So we're just going to kind of stir this around in here till it melts. And then we'll get that heavy cream added in. All right, so I've got my butter all melted, and I'm gonna add in my heavy whipping cream. We'll stir that and get it all mixed up well, and now is when we would add in our seasonings as well. You can add in about 1/4 of a teaspoon of each seasoning. I think I'm just gonna do the garlic powder and onion powder, and I don't use a measuring spoon for this. I kind of just eyeball it, and it's always tasted great. So don't go in there. Let's get our seasonings in there. Set this to the side. I'm afraid I'm gonna lose that in there. So I'm gonna just kind of dash it in there. All right, and then we're going to use about 1/2 cup to a cup of Parmesan cheese, and we'll add that in there and just stir it around until it melts. All right, so we've got our cheese all melted up. That heavy cream that we put in was about 1 cup, and then we're gonna put 1 cup of milk and 1/2 cup of chicken broth in here now, and we're going to cook it for about 5 minutes, stirring it occasionally. All right, so I've been cooking this on medium heat, and it's been about 5 minutes now. I am cooking my noodles, and I've got garlic bread in the oven. So now, you know, that milk and the chicken broth kind of made our Alfredo sauce pretty thin, so that's what the flour is for. You can use 1 to 2 tablespoons of flour to thicken it up, and I normally just go a little bit at a time and just see how it goes. So I kind of just sprinkle it in there, and then just whisk it around until I get it to the consistency that I want. All right, so once you've got it to the consistency that you want, you're gonna cut your heat off. And the recipe doesn't really call for it, but I like to use some black pepper, so I am just going to grind up some fresh black pepper in mine and then stir that up, and then it's gonna be ready to add to our pasta once our pasta's done cooking, and then we'll top it with the chicken. And guys, there's our Cajun chicken fettuccine alfredo. Best alfredo sauce you will ever have. Once you try this, you will not go back to store-bought. And I have to give credit to one of my students, as I was a clinical instructor, actually shared this recipe with me. So thank you so much. This is amazing. Y'all enjoy.